Life legend Christy Martin. Let's come have a chat, my friend. It's all right, we've been sitting. Just shake it out. Get the blood flow back to the lips. We're going to try to do this without the microphone screeching at us once again. If it does, I promise I'll just project. I'll just make sure you can hear it. Guys, one more time for Christy Martin, please. Christy, thank you. Please, join, sit, stand, whatever you feel comfortable with. But Christy, just first and foremost, thank you for letting this film be made, and thank you for being here to experience it with us. I start every single one of my conversations with the exact same question. How are you today? Genuinely, how are you doing today?
Today I'm great. You know, God has blessed me. I'm able to be here and share my story with other people, and hopefully by watching the movie, by hearing me speak, that one little word will trigger something in someone's mind that will help them from going through some of the things that I went through. And you know, we're talking about with domestic violence, we're talking about sexuality. I consider myself the ultimate underdog, coal miner's daughter from a small town, southern West Virginia. So if I can get up off the floor, anyone can.
Absolutely. It's a hard watch in a lot of ways, but it's an important watch in so many more ways. Take me back to the beginning of this process. I want to know when this pitch came to you, when they came and said, hey, we would like to make a proper biopic about your life.
So it was quick.
Yeah.
And once Anonymous, Votive, Black Bear, everybody came on board, and then Sweeney, it was like, boom. We're in filming, we're in production, it's happening. So actually production stopped last November, so only 1 year and this movie's out. So that's, I guess for Hollywood standards, that's like really unbelievable.
I was going to say, that's very quick. For those who don't know, some movies take, decades to get going. So this is very much a quick process. I'm really interested in what makes you feel ready to have a biopic made about your life, right? Because there's plenty of reports of what happened to you. There's the news footage you've done, you did a documentary with Netflix. There's plenty of records out there, but I feel like, and this is perhaps an assumption I'm making, I feel like it's something different entirely to watch it play out on a screen, to watch it dramatized, to watch it play back for you. So what makes you feel confident in yourself and ready to say, yes, let's do this?
I think ready is a big overstatement.
Sure.
Because I'm not sure anyone would ever be ready for this. I just think it's important, and I did make a deal with God from my hospital bed that I would help other people not go down that same rabbit hole that I was down, and I have to live up to my deal with God.
You're right. Ready is perhaps in a large overstatement, because yes, this is a hard thing for anybody to go through. I'm kind of curious, were there things that made you, like, what was it when you say, I need to follow through on this deal? Were there elements of when they pitched it to you that made you feel maybe a little more secure? And secure might also be a big word, but something that made you feel safe with these filmmakers, with Sweeney playing you, that just made you kind of feel a little bit more at ease? It's hard to find the right word here.
Myra Fox, she was the writer, and David Mashad, they made me feel comfortable. They made me believe in them, and I would talk to them about, please don't Hollywoodize my story. And Myra said, Christy, honey, there's been enough crazy shit happen in your life. We don't need to Hollywoodize it. So the great thing is when I did see it the first time, I was like, there wasn't anything that stands out that I would be like, oh my God, that didn't happen like that. Or how did you come up with that idea? It is what it is. And so there was nothing that I walked away like shaking my head like, oh, I wish that hadn't been in there. This is true, it's fact, and some of it's going to be hard for other people. It's definitely, some of it's hard for me, but it's factual. And I hope that by watching this, somebody won't, like I keep saying, someone will find the strength to leave the situation they're in.
Take me back to the first time, because this was not the first time you had seen this movie. So you mentioned that you walked away feeling like none of it was fiction, and that's great. And that's another thing that's hard for Hollywood biopics. It gets fictionalized, they have to make it fit their format and their runtime, and they consolidate things and they change things. So first time you watch it, when you finish it, what is the feeling that you walk away with, aside from being happy that like they did right by you?
So the first time I watched it, I walked away, they did me good, they did right. I think my brain shut down a little bit. Like I didn't I didn't remember some of the scenes. So the really first time that I think I saw this picture was in Toronto. And I actually cried. So tonight was a little easier, maybe because I had seen it and I really took it in up there in Toronto. But it's still hard. I mean, I'm gonna leave here heavy.
Yeah, absolutely. I am curious because you were a consultant on this, and I believe you were on set for about like a third of filming this. I'm curious, when they convince you to have this movie made, are there any hard lines for you of like, if we're gonna do this, we have to do this aspect, we have to do it this way? Or on the flip side, was there anything you were like, if we're gonna do this, I don't want it to be shown this particular way? Like, what were kind of the requirements, I guess?
There really were no requirements, and I just had great conversations, like as I said, with Mara and Dave Machad. We just talked, and we just talked about the truth, the facts, and they put them on paper, and then Sydney and Ben Foster brought it to life.
An incredible performance by both of them. Ben Foster is haunting in this. As much as you feel comfortable, can you talk to me about the conversations you had with Sydney Sweeney, right? Because letting her into your head, like, she's really got to know you on a really intimate level. So what kind of conversations did you have with her? What did those look like? What did she want to know? What was kind of the most important thing to her?
So there were, several conversations, and one of the things that we talked about, of course, was the boxing. And she wanted to make sure she was doing the moves correctly. So when I went to she was in the gym, I was able to be there a couple days, and I'm like, no, Sydney, you gotta twist a little more, you gotta throw this left hook a little harder. So that was fun. And then we had discussions about domestic violence, and those were deep. And she just needed to understand and wanted to understand internally how I felt, what he said that made me feel like I did. And I think she hit the nail on the head. I mean, everybody knows Sydney Sweeney as sexy, all this beautiful Sydney Sweeney. No, that's not what you got in Christy.
No, truly.
You got Christy.
Powerhouse performance from Sydney Sweeney, just absolutely transformed for it. And you talk about the fighting of it. I want to talk to you about this because it's fun. Because so I also, like a year ago-ish, I started boxing, and I want to be clear, I don't do the boxing that she does. I can't take a punch. I'm afraid of that. That's a bravery that I will never have. But it is an incredible workout, and it really does help you get some anger out. It's fun watching that evolution of her at the start, where she doesn't know to keep her gloves up and protect her face. And I'm kind of interested for you, because in a way, you're watching her learn, but you're also watching her be you. It's very trippy, it's very meta, and I'm just kind of curious for your experience on watching her evolve in that training.
Well, being on set when she was with the fight scenes, I'm in the back screaming, "Knock her the fuck out, Sydney!" I mean, I was going nuts, jumping up and down, and then I would see her like stick her tongue out and shake her head, do things that I did, and I'm like, "Oh no, did I really do that?" But she was me, and that part was awesome. It was a bit overwhelming at times,
Sure.
but it was really cool to watch her grow as a fighter, and she did. And I think it showed, like, I progressed as a fighter. The early fights that you saw, throwing crazy shots, and then as she got up to the Gogarty fight, and those fights, punches are a little cleaner, a little straighter. So, yeah, she did a great job, awesome job, over the top.
Truly. You mentioned that you're standing on the sideline saying, "Knock her the fuck out," which I really love that mental image. But you might have noticed you got a little bit of applause during the screening, because at the very end there, you snuck a little cameo in this movie, and you literally said, "Knock her out, champ." And I imagine it's very trippy watching yourself on screen. It has to be even trippier being on set and being in the scene, seeing her as you in that specific moment too. Talk to me about this cameo.